Okay, we're back. I went ahead and went to Lowe's instead of Ferguson's. Lowe's is only a half a mile from here, and Ferguson's is 8 miles away. There's a slight difference in the quality between a Lowe's product and a Ferguson product, as you can see, but the dimensions are the same. That's all we care about. So now let's try this out. Let's do one thing first. Let's get some light in here. Yeah, that should be a little better. Okay. Like I said, this is the first time I've ever done one of these. I'm not worried that I'm going to get it right or wrong. See, look at that. Screws right in, no problem. So this, if you're inexperienced, you try to force this in, you would create your own problem, and this would leak. Okay, so we know that now. All right, so we take our thread tape. Okay, here we go. So this is part 2. Yeah, it's a dang static again. Here we go. Okay, so let's get this on there. Now, of course, if you want to do plumbing repair, irrigation repair, any kind of thing like that, definitely use Ferguson's parts. They're a little bit more durable. But for this application here, this particular part should be okay. Okay. And there we go. Okay. Now the main thing is this also has to fit in here too. Once you cut these threads off, this does fit in, okay? Now there is a difference as the depth. Look at the depth. There's about a 1/4 of an inch more depth in this than this. Okay? All right, let's screw this in. See, that's how you can tell you got a part that works well, okay? Now, go ahead and get your wrench. Actually, I should get me one better one than this one, but this one here will work. And you don't want to over torque these. But you do want to make it snug. Okay, it's getting there. Okay, that's nice and snug. So now you go back to the other one. Now this does have a nice area here you can grip. This one does not. This has these little nipples on there like that. So you got to be a little bit more careful with these. Okay, it's getting pretty tight. And there she is. Okay. Now, the next thing that you got to do is you got to cut one of these ends off here so it'll fit in here. Now the object is that you want to make sure that you make a nice straight cut, not some angle, so when it fits in here it seats, okay? So the best thing to do is right where your threads are, the last part of your threads, take your hacksaw, make sure you got a good cutting edge to it, and you want to be very, very careful that you're cutting absolutely up and down, okay? And hold on to it nice and tight. Get it started. It's better actually if you had a vice grip here, but I don't have any vice, a bench vice, so I kind of have to just kind of deal with it. Get it started. This is where having a PVC saw is much better than a hacksaw. Okay. It's a little bit of a struggle. A little bit of a struggle. I do have a PVC saw, but believe it or not, it's at the farm, so I'd already been cut through this already. Main thing is that you're cutting nice and straight. It's kind of a pain in the ass, because the saw wants to grip. You're probably all thinking, oh, geez, he's making a damn mess of it. But look, the bottom line is you're making a straight cut. You got to have a nice straight cut on here. So it takes you a little time. Hacksaws are good for metal, not for plastic. Like I said, if you had a bench vise, this thing would go a lot better. I don't have one, so I'm just dealing with it. We're almost through. I wouldn't want to do this all day long. It's almost better to just keep drawing it backward and going forward. It wants to grip real bad. There we go. Okay. That was a little bit of a struggle. But the bottom line is now what you got to do is you really, really, really want to clean the outside edge off, okay? If you had some sandpaper, that would be actually the best way to do it. But what I'm going to do is just take my box cutter and make sure that edge is nice and cleaned off. Okay. Run it on the inside. Okay. Feels pretty good. Now, you just test it. Yeah, it's going to fit in there nice and tight. Okay. Now, here's the most important cut you're going to have to make. Once this is in here, and you cut this next thread off, this measurement here cannot be more than 5 on the 90 degree. Now you got to measure in the center, like right here, right? So it's easier for me to measure this way. The butt of this will go into about right here. Okay? So I'm going to place it where I need it. It'll go in about this far. Now on this end is going to be a little difference, remember, because there's a 1/4 inch difference here in this length of this collar. So for me to get exactly 5 1/4 inches across here to the center, I want to measure right where I'm going to be flushed out at or bottomed out at on this pipe, and here. So when you take that measurement, just put your ruler right there, line that up to where you think it's going to bottom out at, and you can measure the inside here. Okay, take a small ruler, and I know it's that long, so I've got 1 inch inside here. So there's 1 inch right there from end to end. There's the inch. Okay, it's going to come into there. So that part there is lined up. See, this is 1 inch. This is 1 inch when it bottoms out inside. I want to line this up to where I know this is also 1 inch in here. So wherever I make this cut, it's got to be 5 1/4 in the center here. Okay, so there's 5 1/4 right there. There's 5 1/4. And you can look as an imaginary line. See, there's the 5 1/4. So where would you think I would need to cut this if it goes in 1 inch and I need this to be at 5 1/4? In fact, it's almost perfect once this is bottomed out here. Now remember, you also have to compensate for this thread here. The total length is got to be 22.5 from center to wherever this 90 degree is here. Okay, 22. So I can make a 1/4 inch mistake here, but I cannot make a 1/4 inch mistake down here. This part has to be absolutely dead on to where this whole thing is 22 1/4 or 22.5, excuse me. So I can realistically see this right here, and if I go ahead and cut this, insert this into this, I've got this part okay, but then when I come across here, this measurement has to be perfect. Okay? Now, they've given me extra pipes. One long one and one short one, okay? And this is only for this down part, okay? So I can use this to compensate over here if I want to and still have enough length here. See what I mean? It'll give me some extra playroom. All right, so let's do this. We know we can cut it right there at that thread. Go ahead and bury these two into each other, and this side here is fixed. And then all I need to do is cut a small section here, and it doesn't have to be big. Remember, this could be only 2 or 3 inches. of gap. As long as it's below this line here, and even that, it really doesn't matter because there's nothing in the way because there's only 2 pipes, an inbound and outbound water line coming up. And this is just going to be floating in the center. All right, so we cut this. Here we go again, this boring part. Yeah, like I said, I wish I had a vice grip. It's almost a DIY project here at the house, huh? Ah, my hand. Whew. Don't ever get old. You get arthritis. Hope you're not being bored to death with this. Okay, that went actually a lot faster. Okay, still a straight cut. There's my 2 thread cuts. Clean everything off. Okay, there we go. Clean up my mess. All right, so now that's that. That's that. And of course, you want to also keep this in mind too, that you want these to be absolutely 90 degrees. So you glue this one in first, and before you glue this one in, you make damn sure you got it right, okay? Now you could take this and adjust it a little bit if you're off, but remember we've already torqued this down, but you can make a little bit of movement in this, but it have to be going clockwise to do it. All right, so now the only section is this piece here. So like I said, we cut this off. We get our little extension here. This goes onto there. Up goes this way. Goes onto there. Oh, that way, excuse me. And then there's your connection. Okay. So when you get to the home, to the homeowner's place, now this is important here, that this sits here. This will go on the old pipe, which you got to cut, and then this will be the connection. Okay, so it'd be just like this. Oops. Come back here. And there's a gasket in there too, a little rubber gasket in there. But it'll be just like this. This is how it'll look. Just like that. Okay? And there it is. The big thing is the measurement across here has to be 22.5. That's the bottom line. These all got to be down at a 90-degree angle. So I'm going to leave you with that, part 2. And I'm going to finish up the rest here. You can obviously see how this is going to go. And hopefully this was informative. And like I said, I've never done one of these before. So this is just a matter of watching a few videos, like I do on a lot of things. I mean, I've got a question about something, I'll go straight to YouTube, and there's a lot of how-to videos out there to show you how to do this stuff. All right, guys, y'all have a great day. See you later.